What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Saturday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast with me, Matt Perrault, at Sports Talk Matt, to follow me on Twitter. And this podcast being brought to you by our friends at OmahaSteaks.com and their anniversary sale and anniversary packages available right now. 50% off when you use that code JUICE in the search bar at OmahaSteaks.com. 100% satisfaction guaranteed at OmahaSteaks.com. Go use that promo code JUICE in the search bar to save 50% off the anniversary savings. Okay, so it is a 2-1 Friday, up 0.9, but the NFL continues to be bad. 0-3 now in preseason betting. I knew I should have bet the Steelers. That was the last game that fell off my card. So I'm 0-3, and now I'll have one more play, but I'm going to put it in a parlay, and if it misses and blows up the parlay, then I will be done betting preseason, and we'll just wait for the real games, because clearly I'm not doing a very good job of this, and won't bet real games and be able to just ride on things that, well, are really happening. Not fake football and wonky things. I mean, if you had the Cardinals last night, my gosh, what a, woo boy. Or is it with the Broncos? When the Broncos blew it. I don't know. One of those two teams blew it at the end of the game, and just 17-15 in the final. They went for two. The Browns did, trying to tie it, didn't get it, lost 17-15. It is what it is. So I've got a 3-leg moneyline parlay that is a plus 149 bet. It involves 2 combat sports, and it involves, one preseason game, 1 baseball game, and 1 boxing match. And I have a bet on the main event for the UFC fight night that's happening tonight. And I have my first college football prop that's available at DraftKings for this season that I will explain coming up here in just 1 second. So 2-1 night. Let's go here into a 3-leg moneyline parlay that I don't normally do this. However, Anthony Joshua is fighting against a guy that was put on the card a week ago. Okay? Dylan White failed another drug test. So to save the card and to save the money in the pay-per-view, they're bringing in a guy who got completely crushed, and I mean crushed, in his one big fight against Anthony Joshua. Now, I do not think you bet the prop on Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. See, Joshua got knocked out by Deontay Wilder. Well, I don't think you bet the knockout prop for Anthony Joshua, because I'm not sure Anthony Joshua knocks the guy out. But, I mean, this is one of those situations where you're like, wait a minute. He's minus 2,000 for a reason. Robert Helenius is the Nordic Nightmare, I think is his name. I mean, he's 10-1. Joshua's going to win. Doesn't matter how. It could be on points. Joshua's career is such a mess. He should knock this dude out. Will he? I don't know. Wilder knocked him out in the first round. Joshua might. And then everyone's like, oh my God, Anthony Joshua's back. Okay. First leg, Joshua to win. Money line. Second leg, we're going with the Ravens in their game against the Eagles. I'm not laying 4.5, but it's been 23 straight wins here, straight up in the preseason. If I lose this bet, fine. But 0-2 ATS and 0-2 straight up. Eagles under Nick Sirianni in the first game of the preseason. Okay? Gonna ride the streak. Ravens money line. They're minus 190 money line. Third leg, I think the Astros are gonna sweep the Angels. I think the Angels are in real trouble. They lost last night badly. I think they lose again here. Tyler Anderson's going on the hill for the Angels. He was okay in his last start at home, but on the road, he was pretty good against Toronto. But, Dodgers got hit pretty hard. Got hit pretty hard against the Pirates. Tyler Anderson's got a road ERA of 5.01, a 2-2 record, 281 opposing batting average, 33 earned runs in 59 and 1/3 innings worth of work. He's going up against JP France, who's been very good, quietly having a very good season for the Houston Astros. Game long for him is pretty impressive. 3 1/3 innings against the Yankees last time out, 0 earned runs. Against Cleveland at home, 2 earned runs. He's won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive starts. The Astros have won with JP France on the mound. We're going to bet the streak. It's a plus 149 parlay, 1 unit down. Astros money line, Anthony Joshua money line, Baltimore Ravens money line, a 3-legger, plus 149 parlay for 1 unit being put down on this bet. Don't normally do this, but feel pretty good about all 3 bets. The other play that we're going to make that's going to go off here tonight is in the main event for UFC Fight Night, Luque up against RDA, Rafael Dos Anjos. Now, in the last fight for one Mr. Vicente Luque, he got hurt so badly in August of 2022, I believe it was, that Luque had to step away from the sport because he had a brain bleed. He had a brain hemorrhage in his last fight. Now, the Las Vegas or the Nevada Athletic Commission has commissioned 2 independent neurologists to clear Vicente Luque, but I'm not really buying it. He's lost his last 2 fights, one by decision, one by knockout against Jeff Neal. Not really feeling it here for Luque, and it's only minus 115. Now, it's a little bit of a trap. You might go, oh, Matt, my gosh, RDA should be a much bigger favorite. What's going on? All right, I'll give you that, but Luque is still a pretty popular betting guy for the public and pros to come in, and, you know, he's a guy who has had a very good career in the UFC, but Dos Anjos, last time out, submission. Time before that, lost to Fiziev, but then had won 2 previous fights against Paul Felder and Maracano. Decisions in both those fights. There's a real good chance this fight goes to the cards, okay? It's 4.5 juice to the under, but there's a decent shot this fight goes to the cards, and it's Dos Anjos by decision. But since it's only minus 115, it's a little bit of a coin flip type of fight. I don't think it's a coin flip type of fight because of Luque's history and the fact that Luque, we'll see what he's like when he's in there, in the octagon. I think we have a more talented fighter in RDA and a guy I think who just wants to be there more. I think this is a win here. It could be a submission victory, could be a knockout. I like RDA to come up here and get a huge win. He needs it. It's a huge feather in his cap if he's able to get it. Money line's pretty cheap. I think this is the right side to be on here with Dos Anjos. It's 39, a lot of fights, but it's funny. Luque's taken so much damage in his career. It's not great. The brain hemorrhage in the knockout loss to Jeff Neal scares me a ton. I just don't think I can go and back it. I got to go in here and take RDA. I'm taking Rafael Dos Anjos at minus 115, 1.15 units down to win the main event 5-rounder against Vicente Luque. Now, let's talk college football, okay? So, Drake May. His Heisman odds are long, okay? Drake May is most likely not going to win the Heisman because I don't think North Carolina is going to win enough games because their defense was so bad last year. I don't think the defense has gotten better. However, Drake May very well might be the number 1 pick in the draft coming up. I know you were going like, Caleb Williams, Matt, Caleb Williams. Yeah, let's see Caleb Williams again, okay? No player has gone back-to-back to win the Heisman since Archie Griffin in 1975. So are we all of a sudden going to see this happen? I don't know. We haven't seen an NFC East repeat of a champion since 03-04. We haven't seen a national champ or a Super Bowl champion and win back-to-back Super Bowls since 03-04. It's been a long time. These streaks tend to keep going, okay? So Caleb Williams to win the Heisman? Not so much. I don't know. But it might be somebody else. Could be Jaden Daniels at LSU. Could be Quinn Ewers at Texas if they can beat Alabama. It could be Cape Klubnik if he has a huge year. Drake May is 18-1. I don't mind that bet. Okay, you want to bet him? I don't mind that bet. But there's a big question about the wide receivers going on here for North Carolina. Clyde Christensen, former NFL assistant coach, has worked with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, is now a volunteer offensive assistant to help Chip Lindsey, who has been hired to be the offensive coordinator coming over here to be a part of this offense. Now, there are some questions. I'm not going to deny it. And that's why the passing yard numbers for Drake May are a little bit low. Drake May last year put up insane numbers. 66% of his passes completed, 4,321 yards passing, and 38 touchdowns. That's some of the best stats you will find in college football. Just absolutely outstanding performances. He was just named the ACC Preseason Player of the Year for that very reason, okay? Who are the receivers? That's going to be the biggest question mark for Drake May because his number is 3,150.5 yards at DraftKings for Drake May, okay? Remember, last year he threw for 4,300. 1,200 yards fewer yards passing here at DraftKings for Drake May of North Carolina. It's minus 115 on both sides. Now, Couple things to keep in mind. One, Tez Walker, transfer who is supposed to be eligible, who right now is not. It would be awesome if Tez Walker could become eligible. It would be huge to have him. The governor is involved trying to get him eligible right now, but Nate McCullum is the other transfer who could have a monster impact on this offense catching the football. They've got Kobe Paysauer, who is a guy who's coming up for a rising sophomore, J.J. Jones, Gavin Blackwell, Andre Green Jr. These aren't monster weapons, but they don't need to be monster weapons. They've got great running backs. They're going to run the ball. They're going to have some really nice play action, and the running backs are going to catch the football coming out of the backfield. This offense is going to be up-tempo because the defense can't stop anybody. These are going to be high-scoring games. North Carolina is going to be another over machine this year for Mac Brown. I don't think this is an offense that's going to be slowed down very often, maybe by Clemson. 3,150.5 yards. We're betting over Drake May of North Carolina to throw for over 3,150.5 yards. I think the young, unproven wideouts are going to be good enough. I think the offensive line would be good enough, and I think there's a chance that Tez Walker becomes eligible for this team. Nate McCullum could also have a really big year coming over from Georgia Tech. Averaged 10.9 yards per catch last year and over 650 yards receiving. He could have a monster year in Chapel Hill. I know the names aren't household. This is not Marvin Harrison Jr. type situations here, but I think North Carolina's got a good shot. They'll be trailing for a lot of these games. Their defense is going to give up a lot of points. They're not going to run the ball that much. They're going to throw it. Drake May of North Carolina, over 3,150.5 yards passing. I think that number is just way too low for how much North Carolina's going to pass. Okay, so there's your first college football bet of the college football season. There will be more that I will sprinkle in as we go towards week 0 in college football, but I like that bet a lot. Drake May, North Carolina, 1 unit, 1.15 units down on over 3,150.5 passing yards for Drake May. All right, so future bet, over on passing yards for Drake May. UFC Fight Night taking RDA money line minus 115 against Vicente Luque. 3-leg money line parlay. Joshua money line, Astros money line, Ravens money line. 1 unit to plus 149 parlay for us on a Saturday. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all social at Sports Talk Matt each and every morning. The Daily Juice podcast being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.